Oh man, it's Bar Talk Live. We're back at McGregor's. Ronnel Ricardo Parham is here. Kevin Kent is here, looking sexy as always. He told me he wore deodorant tonight, so I can sit real close. Come on, let's go inside. It's Bar Talk Live. Ronnel Parham is here. Ricardo is your middle name. Welcome to the program. You've already met
We're
Kevin.
live.
This is beautiful. We are Bar Talk Live. Welcome to San Diego.
Thank you guys. I'm here. Thank you.
And today you're a Padre fan. Just saying.
I am.
I don't even know if you support baseball, but you are a Padre fan.
I like the Padres.
Right.
I'm with it.
Find out if they clinch tonight.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
You are
Not
a
butt cheeks.
easy Tiger. You've only just begun. You haven't even had a sidecar yet.
Very true.
Writer, actor, producer. You also have 5R Productions.
I do.
This is related to your family, and the 5Rs again are brothers, sisters?
Yes. So my mother had 5 children, and she was the matriarch of it all and wanted all of our names to begin with R. So there is Robert, nicknamed Rudy, then Ronnel, then Ryan, then Rhonda, then Ramar. Close to Lamar, but Ramar.
Okay, so your middle name's Ricardo.
It
So
is.
there must be interesting
R
middle
squared.
names for your siblings as well. Or,
Not as interesting as that.
No?
I was, from what I'm told, I was named after Ricky Ricardo and I Love Lucy.
I was going to ask that. Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It was my mother's favorite show. It's funny, as we were
You got
growing
any
up.
Cuban in you?
I do,
You want some? Sorry, I had to. I'm
no.
not Cuban, so you know.
that was her favorite show. I guess in her late kind of adulthood
Sure.
stages
Yeah.
that she was having kids, but as she had us, she didn't really watch it, but she always told me, Ricky Ricardo, I always loved him, so that's where you came from. So that was dope.
That's awesome.
Are you a musician at all? I didn't see anything about music, so
It's funny you asked that. I played the drums for about 11 years of my life growing up. So 3rd or 4th grade up until like 11th grade-ish. Probably like 12th grade in high school.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I did the marching band, I did jazz band, I did like classical band where it's like focus on like the chorus, but I'm just like the bass and then like a little bit of snare in there. So yeah, that's where it started.
Got
Like
the little wispy. What do you call those? It's not drumsticks, but it's like the little fan looking.
Yep.
The brushes.
We sometimes put those on the hi-hats just so it's not like banging the hi-hats.
But you never started a band with a group of friends. Then.
I didn't. But that's where I think the artistic stuff started, and I have my mother to thank for that because randomly she just forced us all. She said, pick an instrument. And I was like, oh, I think drums are the coolest thing, and I actually liked it. Didn't act, didn't do any of this stuff growing up.
What did your brothers play?
Flute, clarinet, and trumpet.
I mean,
So you
just like
they
the
got
Jacksons.
they got hosed
They
like
could have
I
been
did.
the Parhams.
Just like
Yeah,
the Jacksons.
Yeah. The Parhams.
the family band.
Yeah, I got hosed like that too because my brother played the guitar, my other brother played the drums, and then I wanted to play the drums, and my
Dope.
mom was like, no, you're gonna play something else. So what do we wind up playing? I want to play in the fucking trumpet. Great,
It's a hard instrument, though.
which would be cool if like I want to be in a ska band or something. But,
That's my joke because most kids that play in marching band or band, if they start a band on their own
Sophisticated.
with friends, they start a
Thanks,
ska
sir.
band.
Yeah.
And this was again where did you grow up?
I grew up in West Philly, but I went to school in Lower Merion School District for most of that time. So a lot of my upbringing and growing up in the inner city and going to school with rich Jewish kids inspired Odd Man Out. So
oh, cool.
And that's the show that you're on now currently. There's a full season out on Peacock, right?
Correct. Well, Odd Man Out is it's kind of following in Issa Rae's footsteps a little bit in a sense of web series, and then got formatted. Well, hers was kind of like a web series, and then a studio came in and was like, let's develop the TV show.
Yeah.
I had a web series. I have some partners that I'm attached to, such as Dame Dash. Dame Dash is one of the founders of Rockefeller Records,
Yep.
Jay-Z and Biggs Burke. So Dame came in and really liked the show, so we reformatted the web series episodes to television episodes.
Oh, cool.
So from there,
Did you have to reshoot them or anything?
no,
Oh,
we
that's
didn't.
good.
I had an editor do a ton of work.
That's awesome.
Because what we did in the web series, we had intros and outros to each like 4 or 5 minute episodes. So he had to take those out, and then we basically re-edited the television episodes to like every time you see a commercial break is pretty much when the web series episode ended.
Oh, wow.
And then transition. So we just had to figure out a way to like make it into something believable.
Turn a bunch of shorts into an episode.
Exactly.
Really. Yeah.
So we have 2 of those out right now on Peacock and Tubi, and I'm happy to announce that we have 7 more episodes coming out in the next month. You know, on Peacock, Tubi, and Prime. Excuse me. So excited about that.
I'm a fan of Tubi. Tubi rules, by the way.
Love it.
Tubi's like free.
Yeah.
Great streaming service.
Yeah.
Great opportunities for filmmakers.
Have you ever been to a freak off? You mentioned some people that have been to freak offs. I'm assuming. I don't know.
Freak off?
That's
How does like adult swinger spots?
Yeah.
Is that a freak off?
I don't know.
You could just say maybe you've been to a white party, I guess, at the Hamptons. And
No,
one
I haven't
can
been
only
to-
assume.
Haven't been to a high-profile freak off.
Ex-bartender?
Low profile?
Nah, freak offs aren't really. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Can't drink all day if you don't start early.
Yep.
Go
No,
Padres.
freak
Go
offs aren't
Padres.
really my thing, but
Hey, to each their own, right?
yeah, hopefully the people that go to them, hopefully they stay safe.
Exactly. Oh man! Well, you moved to Southern California in the recent weeks, right?
I did. I moved back to LA about 3 weeks ago.
Part of LA.
I'm in Glendale right now.
Okay.
The goal is to reposition myself down in South Bay somewhere.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the end of the year. Spent the last 3 years in Atlanta, Georgia,
Okay.
and got a lot of love for Atlanta. I have truly changed my acting career, my filmmaking career, living in Georgia. And that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people go to Georgia for those starts or for those opportunities that might be much harder to get.
Re-energizing your career.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That are more than likely harder to get in California or New York. So,
But this is not just Tyler Perry. This is other elements of the filmmaking community going on there, right?
Yeah.
But he's a big catalyst to create the vibe, right? The environment.
Yeah. He's you know, as they say, like the matriarch of Atlanta. He put Atlanta on the map, and you know, you gotta tip your hat to him and have tremendous respect to him. And everybody wants to try and get in there and work with him.
Yeah.
I know actors that have been on recurring in some of his shows, been on large guest stars, and they just tell me like being on the studio lot is. So what I heard, you know, don't quote me here.
Right.
When people are like recurring, he has like a whole like building / campus for people.
We have the president
Oh,
of
that's
the
right.
Oval on, and he
That's
was
right.
telling us about
And
like
Glenn.
basically living there.
Yeah, you like live there, and you have like your own chef, and you basketball courts, and like what other studios doing that?
Yeah, and they built the life-size White House on the property.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Which is crazy. Who else can say they've done that other than Kid Rock?
Oh, that's right. I saw that. That's unfortunate. But
He's got
good for him.
a White House in Nashville or outside Nashville, probably
Does
like
he?
Brentwood or something.
Does he? Okay.
Which is crazy.
I like Nashville.
Yeah.
I like
You ever
Nashville.
live there?
Nah, I just visited a bunch when I was in Georgia. I had a buddy, still have a buddy who lives out there, but it would always be great energy
Yeah.
going out there. I think Justin Timberlake has a bar there, like on Broadway.
There's a ton of people
places.
I grew up like 2 hours west of there. And,
Oh, nice.
Was just out there at my mom's
What
80th
part?
birthday. Paris, Tennessee.
I feel like
it's
I-
literally on the Kentucky border, or
Okay.
close to.
Is that where
And
the
your-
Eiffel Tower is?
And
Yeah.
your mom just turned 80.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Yeah, I went out there, so we'll get a 100 acre and generational farm out there. that,
100 acres.
Yeah, my grandmother left it to me and my 2 brothers, and so one of my brothers lives there.
Almost like Yellowstone.
Wow, shit, 100 acres, not 100,000 acres, but yeah.
Nice.
Is your
My dad-
brother in the military?
One of my oldest was, and my other one wasn't. But yeah, my dad was.
What was your dad in the Navy?
No, my dad was in the Army. My brother was in the Army.
He didn't want to continue? Too much time doing the trumpet?
Yeah. No. So I retired about 10. I retired 11 years ago. I did 21 years in the Navy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then
Good for you.
started doing film stuff before I got out, and then I just kind of transitioned into more and more film and security work. And
Nice.
the guy that mentored me in the industry was a retired SEAL that started working with Jerry Bruckheimer. They were adapting a screenplay for a book that was written about the formation of SEAL Team 6. It was called Road Warrior. And so the guy that mentored me in the industry is Harry Humphreys. He was working with Bruckheimer, and it was right about the time Michael Bay was about to shoot The Rock.
Okay.
And so Bruckheimer produced it, and he's like, I got the perfect guy to be a tech advisor. So he brings Harry in, and Harry and Michael hit it off, and Harry's been on every Michael Bay show since. You know, I think Harry retired about a couple years ago, but he's you know, passing the torch over to me. So I've been, you know,
have
I've
you
been
met them
doing,
yet? Like Michael Bay and?
Oh yeah, I did.
Nice.
I did Transformers 3. I did Transformers 4. I did Transformers
What?
5. I did 13 Hours. I did what other Michael Bay stuff? Well, I did Bumblebee. He produced. I did all 4 seasons of Jack Ryan that he produced.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So yeah, I definitely have the distinct pleasure of being screamed at by Michael Bay and him throwing a microphone or throwing a megaphone on the ground, and you know, it's one of those things like that's when you truly feel like you've arrived. You're like, oh shit, I've been yelled at by Michael Bay, like hell yeah.
When are you gonna record that and sell it to TMZ? You know?
Right.
I mean, I don't. I mean, Michael, he generally always great to guys like me, guys in the military. Like he used to bring, you know, active duty members onto sets because he wants the realism. He wants everything to be real. And I mean, he's generally the smartest guy on the film set. Like he understands probably every person's job on the set, and he legitimately is just like, I'm just trying to get a film made. And the thing is, when he sees people that don't think like him, or probably don't have the big picture, then he blows up. And you know, but it's not like, I mean, shit, I was a Navy SEAL for 20 years. I can
handle
water off my back. You know, it's like it's very easy for somebody to scream at you, and then 2 minutes later he's talking to you like this, like, okay, so let's figure this out, what we're gonna do. Like it's
a lot of pressure.
It's gone at that point, you know. So
no, it's a lot of pressure, and I can somewhat relate to that, just being a showrunner on my show. Just what you were describing, a lot of that. I mean, I get it. I don't blow up, or at least I haven't blown up on people just yet. But I mean, there are many instances where you have to pick your words. You know, pick and choose your battles, but like pick and choose your words. Properly, because being in such a huge position as he is, and possibly where I am, like, you don't want to say something that'll like crush somebody or like just totally ruin their vibe on set too. Because like, you need these people.
Can't even call people retards anymore.
So you don't have a casting couch?
I don't. I don't.
Oh man,
didn't have the budget for that.
So 5 hour
they don't have a
productions.
couch. It's a love seat.
Watch out. No, never mind. So basically, the 5 hour productions produces The Odd Man Out. Is that how it began with that group?
100%. We are.
There was a web streaming show, and now we've got a Peacock and Tubi and all these streaming services. But then more coming from a 5 hour productions?
Yeah, 100%. So a lot of the stuff, well, everything that I've done under the production company is under me, and I put money into it, but Odd Man Out is like 100% me producing it. I have a producing partner, Jake, who directed the web series stuff of it, but the new stuff that we've done, produced it, put up the money for it, directed it, acted in it, wrote it, cast it. But I had some great people that came in and helped me out. But, you know, so what's next for 5 hour production? So I think the next step for us is partnering, working with other production companies, so that we can associate ourselves with bigger productions. But being in the business, you got to crawl before you walk. You have to have proof of concepts before you can approach bigger companies. You know, Odd Man Out has been fantastic for me, and just all the grind and the blood, sweat, and tears I put into it, because when it's done, it's almost done. When it's done, I'll be able to be like, hey, okay, 5 Hour Productions now has our flagship TV show on a top 5 streamer. It's 4.5 to 5 hours worth of television, so like, you're really gonna have to sit there with your boo and watch it. You know, and it's like true episodic in a sense too, where number one, if you don't watch the first 2 episodes, you'll have no idea the meaning
Right.
of anything moving forward. But if you were to come in and just watch like episode 6 and not, remember what was going on in episode 3, you can go back to 3 and kind of
Yeah.
like check it. So it's truly one of those TV shows, and I feel good about saying this because it took a lot of time writing it. I brought other people in to like critique it, or maybe just give me notes, but really just to help me think bigger picture.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things I got from Martinez and Tim that I brought in was like, you have to think long term in a sense. Any character that you bring in has a life, like has a journey, and they're going somewhere. But
Yeah.
every person that you bring in, anything that happens has to relate back to the main person. It has to relate back to the main thing that's going on.
Yeah.
And that really clicked with me when I was like watching Walking Dead, and I was like, they have 11 seasons and they have so much craziness that just goes on in that show, but everything relates back to Rick.
Yeah.
It relates back to survival. Like it relates back to a theme. It relates back to the main character. So I'm proud to have learned that stuff, taken it in, written these things, and hopefully when it comes out, you guys can report back and be like, we get it. Like the things that happened, the stuff that happened in 9 still affects Charles back in 1.
Right.
Like Charles has changed who he is over time, of course, but the decisions that he's making in 9, or the impact of the decisions that other people are making, you can see why it's odd man out.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I told you earlier, like when I start talking, I just
that's
go.
awesome.
But so you write, direct, produce these episodes and star in it, the whole
Yeah.
thing. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
yeah,
So
yeah.
how big is a crew on a shoot for you?
Man, that was one of the hardest things. I mean, a crew could be anywhere from 8 to 15 people,
Oh.
and
It's bigger than this.
there you go. And
Dude, there's like 30 people out there plus the audience. This
There
is
you go.
insane.
Keep it down over there.
it is, going through this process, it is truly a miracle to shoot anything.
Right.
It's truly a miracle to get multiple people's schedules together, to get multiple people in mode to do it.
Yeah.
Working with actors, directing wise, people are coming in from whatever is going on with them during the day, whatever auditions happen or whatever it is.
So you
and
haven't blown up yet with all of that
not
going
at all,
on?
not at all. And
You smoke
I-
weed?
Sometimes, sometimes. And I pride myself as well. Like I brought in some non-union people for a couple characters,
Yeah.
and I had to work with them. I had to get them to a point where they just felt as though they were there having a conversation with people.
Yeah.
Because if you're just truthfully in the moment, thinking about things, talking and reacting to things, and you believe what you're doing, we'll believe it.
Yeah.
I can get you to like where I need you to be, but
Yeah.
I just need you to be in a place where like, okay, I'm here, I'm talking, I'm listening, I'm
Yeah.
reacting. So no blow ups yet, but I mean, shoot, I get it. Being on a crew that size,
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
time is money, you know,
Yeah.
and you need people to execute.
Yeah.
So if you don't,
It's a lot of things.
It's very overwhelming too.
Yeah.
Like having cameras pointing in your face. Like that was one thing I was explaining whenever we did our other show with Ed Quinn on here. I was like, we did a film together, a low budget zombie movie that was
Navy SEALs
Navy
versus
SEALs
zombies.
versus zombies.
Yeah.
And it was like
Still
one of the
need to
first
watch
times I was like, playing myself. I'm playing a SEAL, in a zombie movie, but it's, I mean, you got,
Yeah.
extreme close up, and you're
and
just
you're
like,
expected
holy
to go
shit,
in
dude.
and snap into
Yeah.
it. Like being a
Yeah.
professional in this field, like that's what's expected
Yeah.
of you. And I was talking to a filmmaker last night, just in our processes of directing, acting, or just directing or acting. Like for me, I'm big on rehearsals.
Yeah.
This is 5-hour productions. I'm putting up the money, so I have the say right now to do things a little bit the way that I need it
yeah.
to be done. You go on bigger sets, as I'm sure you know, as well, you walk on there, you don't even rehearse with your scene partner. You're walking onto this soundstage or this location. You might be meeting this person for the first time in your life. You're more than likely meeting a director for the first time
Yeah,
in your
right.
life. Sometimes, I mean, depending on where you're on a call sheet, you can do table reads, you can do those
Yeah.
things, but a lot of the below the line actors, you don't have those advantages.
Right,
Like, you're expected to come in, whether it's a line 5, 12, and just be like, oh, okay, I'm sitting around, like, oh, you need me there? Okay.
Boom.
You know, you're blocking, like, oh, okay, we're rolling in a second, and you're expected to. Now, of course, the beauty of what we do is you have takes, and you have a little bit of leverage too. But like, let's be real here. You're in front of Michael Bay, like, you're not trying to sit up here and screw up lines or fumble your work.
Because
Like,
he's going, what?
But if you're
are
ready,
you,
like, dude,
reading off of?
you can own it. Like, in that
100%.
moment, you can own it.
and that's how you build yourself in this business. That's how you build yourself, whatever it is, like being there, being prepared. Oh, okay, Ronnel, we need you. Oh, okay, we need you there. Okay, let's bring the other actors in. You ready? Yep, I'm ready. Let's get it.
Yeah.
They respect that. I'm sure Michael would respect that. But like what you're saying, like, yeah, you're expected to be right there, cameras in your face.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I don't know how porn stars do it. How do they do it? I don't know.
Yeah, that would be rough. I would anticipate you need lots of Viagra.
yeah. I don't know how you could do it without it.
Yeah,
Honestly.
that would be rough. So how overwhelming is it to be, I mean, showrunner, producing, directing, writing, acting? I mean, on the same project, wearing that many hats, do you find that you have to, say, kind of delegate? I mean, I've been on shows where, you know, the number one in front of the, you know, leading man is also the director, and he puts a lot of responsibility on the DP to make sure it's, you know, you're getting what you want, you know, and it's pretty crazy because I've been on some low budget stuff too where they're trying to do that stuff and they have like no playback, you know, ability,
you don't have time for that.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I hope we're getting it all, and I hope it's, you know,
or you hope the sound is good.
Yeah, that too.
You know, you don't have to go back and just try and recreate magic in post.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's I think the thing, what I do is you just try and relegate duties. Meaning, if it's a heavy acting day, you create it as you set the schedule as a heavy acting day for you.
Yeah.
Directing, I was directing every day. But I purposely never tried, so I feel like there were like 2 days. So we shot from March 2023 until February 2024. We really only took off like a month.
Oh, wow.
So at least each month of that almost year, we were shooting at least once. We were shooting
you have
more
a writing,
than likely.
like a writing room? Or are you turning out scripts yourself?
This is me putting up scripts.
Holy shit.
One-man ranking crew.
That's a lot of writing.
And then I would send them to, you know, Martinez, or I send them to Tim, and they would be like, you know, keep this in mind when you're doing this.
Yeah.
Or, you know, a note that I got too was like I was introducing too many characters because my mind was like, it's life, right? Like you could just meet people in life.
Yeah.
And you can, but from a storytelling standpoint, and this is for all the filmmakers out there watching, like everything has to happen for a reason.
Yeah.
Don't just put somebody in something just to put them in there.
Is it relevant? Is it pushing the story?
100%.
Yeah.
And if you find yourself like, oh, I have a bunch of people in here, or I have a whole bunch of things happening that don't necessarily need to be there, then you should figure out a way to take it out. Because if the audience is probably going to be there watching and be like, why did we just see that? Or like, why did that matter?
I think that's happening to Joker Part 2 right now, where something terribly wrong happened on that film, and where people are just not feeling it at all.
Crazy.
Like,
I didn't even see the first one, but
and the first one was so successful, but this one was turned into a musical.
I'm going to be politically correct and not take debate on that. But
it's just fascinating.
Very disappointed in it.
Yeah. Did you see it? I haven't seen it.
Saw some clips of it, but I knew early on that it wasn't.
I mean, the musical part of it threw off any fans of the first film, I believe, kind of like immediately. And I'm a sucker for a great musical. I am a sucker. Hey, I think it's time to take a break. Ronnel Parham is here hanging out with this 5R Productions Odd Man Out. Take a little taste of the side pour, why not?
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, fellas.
Great having you on.
Thank you.
It's Bar Talk Live. We'll be right back.
Falling hard like a tidal wave, kaleidoscope spiraling in outer space. Nothing like I've ever seen, it's just a thing of beauty.
Oh, Ronnel Parham is here hanging out with us. You play a dad in an American Express ad. I saw that.
Oh,
What were the perks of that
Throwing
commercial?
that one out.
You put that on your website. And so the perks of being in
played a
American-
gay dad.
Did they give you
You
the
played a gay dad
platinum
in
card?
Oh,
They
nice.
give you a platinum
No.
card for playing something.
Nah, they don't care about us actors. We're just faces. We're just promoting whatever it is for 15 seconds. But it was that was a very interesting shoot. We shot that in November of 2023,
Okay.
a couple weeks before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And shot it in upstate New York.
Nice.
So I came from Atlanta and stayed with my homegirl in Jersey City. And see, I want to be politically correct here because I don't know who's watching, but like the day before the shoot, we were doing something similar to what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And I usually
Drinking?
don't, like getting it in. And I usually, I mean, not even usually, I 100% don't before the cameras are rolling.
Right.
And I was like, oh man, it's my first time back in New York in like a year, booked this national commercial, staying with my homegirl, like I haven't seen her in a minute. I paid for it the next day. So- but no, it was a great experience. I didn't really know. They didn't really like give us too much of a character breakdown on it.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, like I knew I was playing a dad maybe, but I didn't know I was playing a gay dad.
Wow.
Which is,
I think that might be something they tell you.
yeah, I mean, I loved it. It was great
Yeah.
for me. I don't mind it at all, but it was just like, it's being a straight man, going into a commercial playing a dad is different
Yeah.
than going into a commercial playing a gay dad.
Sure.
So you're learning on the fly, at least I was, on how to show affection to a man in that way and have kids there and talking about vacations.
In a G-rated
and-
way.
Exactly. But it was interesting because again, it wasn't told to me. If it might have been like mentioned to me, I might have done some prep on it.
Right,
I might have like possibly reached out to other friends
Yeah.
that I have
Yeah.
who are gay men who have kids and just asked a couple things. I didn't even know till I was there. And granted,
Like
I
you're
was-
gonna want to get your manicure and your butthole bleached.
And on top of that, I'm like 30-40% still hungover.
Oh man.
So, but it was fantastic. It was a great experience, and that was a great crew of people, and it was just great being back in New York. I lived in New York when I was 22 to 23, and then I
Yeah.
moved back when I left LA in 2019, right before COVID hit. So it was great coming back and just truly being a tourist, truly being a visitor for a
Yeah.
little bit, but like knowing the city very well. But it was also great catching a train to upstate New York and going to
Yeah.
places I haven't been to, and it's always great getting out too. And the moment you get out the train, at least at this point, like everyone's just like pampering you and like you're the lead on it,
Oh,
or
right.
you're one of the leads on it, and just from the moment you're there to the moment you leave, it's always great to be on set and
Yeah.
on American Express's dime and
Sure, of
being
course.
pampered.
So much like shooting action-oriented stuff, like we try and front load a lot of the action stuff up front. So on your commercial, did they like first scenes like, okay, open mouth kiss?
No, it was
You're like, what does this have to do with credit cards?
yeah. Honestly,
We're trying to show love.
and that was a lot of the notes that we got.
Right.
Like it is just genuinely being affectionate, but being believably affectionate to whoever you're with. But most of that commercial was just improvising throughout the day.
Yeah.
Sure.
There were a couple lines. There was a writer for the commercial. But a lot of what we did too was just, I mean, that's why when you do commercials, a lot of your training in commercials is improv. And a lot of your training that you should probably do is, a lot of your training in commercials should be on camera commercial training, but some of your extra training should be improv.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because commercials are, I don't want to put a percentage on it, but like it's a high percentage of just purely improv.
Yeah.
Whether it is improving your reactions, improving your lines, because there are many times I've done a few national commercials where, these are the lines, but like, let's go with something else and let's
Yeah.
see how the
Yeah,
energy
yeah.
is between you guys. Now, granted, you're on a Capital One commercial with the guy, he has his lines.
Right.
And he has to say his lines for the ad agency and for marketing.
What's in your wallet?
Yeah. But, sometimes when you're on
condom?
those things,
Sorry. No, not mine.
Bats fly out of my wallet. Like fucking.
I want to know how a master's degree in criminology helps with any of this. Were you going to become something in criminology?
Well, I kind of was on that track for a little bit.
Okay.
So for almost 3 years in my 20s, I was a PI.
Yeah.
I was a PI here in California. And I did some PI work for, so I had 2 PI jobs. My first PI job, I was investigating a lot of establishments similar to this, not saying they are, that were illegally streaming DirecTV.
Oh, no shit.
So I went all over the country with a quote unquote hidden camera, but it was pretty freaking obvious.
To quote my favorite PI, Magnum, he prefers private investigator. You ever remember those lines?
Yeah.
When people are like, "You're a PI, right?" And he goes, "Private investigator."
Yeah. No,
Sorry, I had to cut in.
No, I feel you. and I was around a lot of people who valued it to such, like, because it's a ton of work. You're in the field 14 to 16 hours a day. You're by yourself.
Yeah.
And at least for me, at least in this one position, I was going all over the country. My black self walking into the most opposite places you could think.
Yeah.
To be short with it.
Yeah.
And I'm walking in with a camera in my hand, and I'm like, trying to get to what we were trying to do. We try and get the DirecTV banner.
Yeah.
So without, you know what? Now that I kind of think about it, I shouldn't go too deep into it because I can't say, like, I was about to give y'all like my techniques in it, but so I did that, and I'm thinking about all the paperwork that I signed back years ago. So I did that, and then another PI job I had was following people that did filed bogus workers' comp stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's like the biggest.
Yeah, California and Florida
Yeah.
had the crazy amount of cases.
Yeah.
So to answer your question,
You did put it to use.
yeah,
To some extent.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that, like, no matter what it is that I do, like, I don't necessarily try and be number one, but like I put my all into it.
Yeah.
I don't like to half-ass it. I don't like to waste my time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a master's degree in criminology.
But I assume that helps in your writing, like, whatever. I mean, or if you're going to write a crime story, like,
100%.
you have a better understanding.
I mean, criminology essentially is studying deviance, studying why
Right.
people do the shit that they do,
Yeah.
do the bad shit that they do, why people are in prisons, why people end up going back to prisons. A lot of criminology stuff goes into psychology as well. So, yes, that does help me create characters,
Sure.
and it helps me think. So when I create somebody, again, thinking long term about it, thinking like, how would they act in this situation,
Sure.
or bringing them into the fold? What would be their motivations for doing certain things? So as you see, like when I start, well, you don't know, but like when I start writing, everything is dark, everything is pitch black. So I'm that kind of writer where, like, TV is off. I don't care if it's morning or it's night. Most of the times I write at night. Literally the whole room or the whole apartment has to be pitch black.
Yeah.
So when I'm writing, number one, it's for distractions, but it's kind of like a mood thing for me. Like,
Yeah.
I can just, because again, as a writer, you're thinking from 7 different perspectives, and
Right.
you're thinking overall story. I need it to be pitch black. Hopefully that doesn't come off like crazy and weird.
No.
But
It's
Just the
hard.
glow of
It's
the
hard to
laptop?
write,
You have the
man.
glow of
that's
the
it.
laptop?
That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'll have a fan going maybe.
Okay.
But I can't be too cold because that'll throw me off. Can't be
Right.
too hot. That'll throw me off.
Is
But
the
I'll-
fan for the temperature or also for the humming
and
sound?
the noise
so
and
the
the
white,
white
noise.
noise. Yeah. But it has to be black. It has to be pitch black, like weirdly black. And then I'll just go in, and from there I'll do 7-8 drafts of it. But like at least the first draft has to come from a place, because when I'm in that mindset, that's when I can just go. I'm just free with it. As most
Right.
writers, your first draft, it's just going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
That's why you have other people, you have other writers that come in and you tighten it up. But for me, like, it just has to be completely dark, completely null of anything.
It's hard coming up with a first draft. That's the hardest. I mean, editing an existing script is obviously way easier than trying to come up with this stuff off the cuff. And
Yeah.
I've I bought this one book that was recommended to me. It was called The Artist's Way, and it was saying just going like write 3 pages a day, even if it's I don't know what to think. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't,
Because you can always come back and redo all that. But
all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
But yeah, that's stuff. And I'm not a screenwriter in a sense of like, that's not my main thing.
Yeah.
So I guess I should preface it for everybody out there. I didn't go to film school. I started acting when I was 20. I started acting in commercials. So all the stuff that I'm doing, I did go to a bunch of acting classes. I did 7 Off Broadway plays. I was focused when I found acting, but the filmmaking side of it, I learned to write from just having hundreds and hundreds of scripts and slides. So I learned what worked. I learned what didn't work. Directing and producing, I mean, you can study it, but like you truly got to get out there and do it. Like with you, like directing radio shows, directing other bands, like. There's no real, I mean, yes, you can go to, at least film-wise, you can go to film school and learn how to do, but like you won't know until you get out there.
I'm fascinated because of the technology with phones and the fact that an iPhone is as good as any camera, basically. And that you can learn to become a filmmaker on 100%. Your own.
YouTube University.
Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're doing. And I mean, look at the things that people produce. I mean, your show initially was kind of conceived to be consumed that way, sort of, right?
Yeah, it was 100%. Let's put it on YouTube. Let's put it on, I was about to say Tubi. Let's put it on Vimeo.
Yeah, they're short. Originally they're short. They could be consumable.
Yep.
I mean, it's like Ray Buffer. He's been doing one of our previous guests, and he seems to be doing a bunch of those types of productions.
Doing
like
those
stuff for the phone. And
what do they call them?
It's like a short
vertical shorts.
Yeah.
Big thing now. I need to look into that and learn that a little bit. Because they're doing like a minute episodes.
Yeah, that's what he's doing, which is crazy. He said he gets like a 1-page script and just like.
But see, from a filmmaker's perspective, I'm like, everything that you do should have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can do it in a page, but I would just like to see it effectively be done.
Yeah.
Because that would just possibly change my mindset on a few things.
Yeah.
But then again, it's hard to sell shorter stuff like that, but it seems like these vertical short people have figured out a way.
Right.
Yeah.
I love when something can graduate to the next level. If something can be recognized as good and, that's already developed, you're able to change it, make it into, an actual longer series type of program. And then, like SNL's been a good example. They've pulled some people from a little bit of a different world. I think they have a TikTok girl that's done very well.
Oh, really?
She's one of the new people on the show, which is, very non-traditional. It's not the way people come up. But,
right.
You got to stay progressive in what's happening now.
Almost feel like the industry it peaked like before COVID, or around about the time. And I think obviously it's not that we're regressing, but I mean, it's like people have too much time.
And there's too much stuff.
Yeah,
nobody enjoys going to a movie theater anymore. It's like, why would I go to a theater and spend, $60 on refreshments and $15 on a movie ticket when I can sit in the comfort of my home, I can pause it, I can go take a piss when I need to, I can go. So those films, I feel like they don't, or maybe they don't grab people the way that they used to grab people, because like I remember going to some amazing movies and films that should only be seen on the big screen,
Have you seen Megalopolis yet?
No.
I don't think anyone's seen that one yet either. That's sad.
Well, it's interesting from the perspective of streaming. Like, I am a filmmaker that has benefited tremendously from streaming, but on the other end of it, you can argue that streaming has just completely killed television, meaning there are a bunch of streamers, and more than likely, most shows don't run for a season or 2.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. I see it all the time in film discussion groups. I see it all the time on Twitter. We talk about it a lot in SAG groups. Like, don't you guys, you can tell me, don't you guys miss, or do you guys miss watching shows that have 7, 8 seasons? Where you can truly get into the lives of these characters, their stories, their arcs. Something, I think it's called Chaos or KAOS on Netflix, was just canceled.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum, and it had a big fan base.
Had a huge fan base. What was it, the second season?
I think
for
so.
the
It's
third
not
season.
making it. Yeah.
And it's from a filmmaker's perspective and from a financier's perspective, it's like, oh, it's great to finally get a deal or to get Netflix money, but it's going to run out soon.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like
Even good stuff is getting canceled.
it's
which is crazy,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like a show like Breaking Bad. Imagine if Breaking Bad came out in today's world. Like, I'm asking you, like, do you guys
Yeah.
think
It'd be
Breaking
like
Bad would
one
have got
one
8
season
seasons?
and canceled. You know, you're like,
Even with a huge fan base.
I missed that whole
Yeah.
thing of it's only getting worse, of course, but just there was much more shared commonality between people of television shows and movies and things that you could share and talk about. And there's just so much stuff now; it's hard to find
Yeah.
the common TV show we like to watch. Or
A part of
or
it too
whatever, you know?
is Netflix and these other people putting $70-80 million into one season of a TV show.
Yeah.
$200 million to produce Joker. The first Joker was $60 to $70 million
Right.
budget.
Yeah.
Went on to make over $1.7 billion in the box office. The second Joker is a over $200 million budget. It made under $40 million in its previewing weekend.
yeah.
What do you need $200 million to produce a movie for? Like,
Unless it's a shit ton of CGI. You know,
Yeah, I
even
know.
now though, it's become so streamlined where
Well, yeah, right.
I mean, like
the cost of that's gone down.
yeah, you
I would
know, like the
assume.
Transformers 4, 5 were, I mean, those were like $200 million budgets back in, you know, the 2000,
Yeah.
2013,
Yeah.
All that
2015,
computer.
and
60,
yeah,
70 million
and
to
those
produce.
made billions
Yeah,
at the box office.
60, 70 million to produce one season of television. I'm like, you know, and you're shooting in one city. Like
Yeah.
you're shooting in, I understand you have a whole bunch of locations. Trust me, I get it. You're shooting in one city and it's 60 million to produce 9 episodes.
Yeah,
Like,
not even like 22 episode
Yeah, I'm
seasons
like-
like they used to
Yeah.
before. You're making maybe 10 episodes. I mean, eight episodes in some
I
of
mean,
those cases.
I would love to get to a point where budget has been worked out, money is there, and Ronnel and a whole bunch of people like, look, this is what we're working with. Let's make it happen. But any indie filmmaker, you're saying to yourself, like, what can I do with 6 million? What can I do with 60
I'd
million?
do with $1 million.
Right. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the guerrilla filmmaking.
I'm
Like,
producing
let's-
a movie right now. It's a $3 million, you
Yourself.
know, and it's just like, you know, I've gone on shows that are literally 100,000. I mean, I went to film school and I
Okay.
shot a bunch of shorts and stuff, like a 3-minute short shot on an iPhone, you know, to like a 20-minute short, you know, with multiple camera angles and stuff. And obviously, you know, the more camera operators, the more cameras, the more people, the more crew, the more, you know. But yeah, I mean, I've been on sets literally where there's like 250 crew members. You're like, what? You're like
Crazy.
looking around going, what
It's
the
crazy.
fuck do all these people do on set?
Right,
you
right.
know?
250 people.
It's a lot of people
Yeah.
that need to be on the same page.
I mean, some of those
Understandable.
people are, you know, oh, this is our A-list costumer,
Exactly,
and this is our
exactly.
A-list makeup person, this is our A-list hair person, and this is our, you know, and you're like,
Boy, there's
okay.
7 A-list hair
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
So-
need a hair person,
There you go.
Not even for the short and curlies?
but maybe. Oh, down there. Oh, goodness gracious.
But yeah, it is weird seeing the, you know, the ebb and flow of the industry.
I mean, you have the guy. I think his name it's Corbin, but he won best screenplay for American Fiction
Okay.
last year at the Oscars. Excuse
Yeah.
me. And in his acceptance speech, he was basically saying, for one $200 million film, how about we create 10 $20 million films?
Yeah.
Like, it's mind blowing because you look at a place like Warner Bros. And again, I don't know their budget. I don't know
Yeah.
their private investors, their angel investors, all the money that they just have in the bank. But just a huge film like Joker to go from 60 million to 200 million to produce, and let's be honest here, it's more than likely going to flop. It's not tracking the numbers that the first Joker tracked.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
basically, just to put it in simple terms, if the second one doesn't make $1 billion, it's a flop. And this one is on track to make nowhere near that. Warner Bros. Love to work with y'all. Don't hate me on this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to like zip it up here, but like this is for other filmmakers though. Like, just got to keep it real.
Well, it's weird too, coming from even from a marketing standpoint. You know, typically, so your Joker type movie, it's death, destruction, it's shit getting blown up, it's anarchy. Typically, male-based customers are going to see shit like that, and for them to release it last weekend, there's Major League Baseball
marketing.
Playoffs,
And there was no marketing on it, or there are very few.
I mean, it's the middle of football
Because they were
season.
scared.
It's-
I think.
Yeah,
At some
I was
point,
reading
like,
something
what
about
happens
that.
with that. You know, like
Yeah.
we don't want the press to see it in advance.
It's just
and
weird
ruin
to
it.
me that they would release it at a time where you have all this sports stuff going on, where a male-dominated customer base is more consumed with sports than going to especially a musical
Yeah.
based on a chaotic themed
I mean,
bad
They
guy.
put Gaga in
you
it.
know?
Jesus, come on. I mean, I'm a Lady Gaga fan, but maybe they didn't need to make it a musical.
That's yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing it. To be completely, I'm not going to spend my money to see it, especially from what I've heard. I'll watch it when it comes
Yeah.
on Max or something.
Yeah.
Hopefully in a month or two. But I mean, Todd Phillips is brilliant. Obviously, Joaquin Phoenix is just
Yeah.
transformative, and
Todd Phillips had some amazing films. You know,
Gaga.
did he do The
I mean,
Hangover?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He did the first
I mean,
one.
yeah.
And that kind of set it off. Like,
Mhm.
you know, so I will watch it. Don't get me wrong. I was not crazy at all about the musical aspect of
Yeah.
it, especially just where it ended, the first one. It was just so brilliantly done.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it kind of ruins a legacy. That movie had a legacy going on for itself.
Exactly,
And
and
that's
now
kind of been
it's-
ruined. That's terrible. Like,
Joker 3, like, where in the world could they go? I could be wrong. I need to see it. Did you see it? I'm sorry.
No, hell no. No. It's like Heaven's Gate. I still haven't seen Heaven's Gate. That was the big,
So,
million.
hell no.
Well, now it's Megalopolis, of course, Coppola's new film, right? That he spent 10 years making, and nobody can understand.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well,
Yeah.
Ronnel, we've hung out with you for a while now. We know about Odd Man Out, 5 Hour Productions. I see that you speak at film events and do judging of films. You've had panels here in San Diego at Comic-Con. Are you planning on returning to Comic-Con at all?
I would love to. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we first hit Comic-Con in July 2023. We were privileged enough to go back to WonderCon this year in March of 2023. So I would
Nice.
love to do New York Con. I believe
Sure.
they have a Nashville one, they have a Portland one. So
I mean, San Diego is the one that really only matters. I mean,
And they have an
it's
LA
the
one?
Godfather. It doesn't
Right.
matter.
Right, it's not.
We may not have a World Series yet,
Yeah.
but Comic-Con in San Diego, and if they ever leave, I will be heartbroken.
Yeah. Well, on that note, they're trying to move the venue for Sundance. They're looking at other venues, and it's just like, why? I don't
To
know.
where? Some other ski town?
No, they were thinking like Atlanta was top of the
wow,
list.
wow.
But I think they'll probably Salt Lake City made
weird.
top of the list. I think they're going to still stay in that
Yeah.
area.
I mean, why wouldn't they just?
That's what
It's
makes
crazy.
it
That's
Sunday.
like
Exactly.
that's like moving con.
Exactly,
You know? They're like,
exactly.
oh, let's move this to another venue.
yeah,
Like,
no, it's just it would never have the same impact. But to
Yeah.
answer your question, yeah, I mean, I would love to continue doing panels. I
You're
didn't
trying
even
to
mention-
inspire future filmmakers and
Would love
give
to.
some background. To
Would
people.
love to. Would love to continue. And if a lot of opportunities or some opportunities aren't there, maybe I just go off and start to create my own panels and such, and feature
Yeah.
speakers like you guys, and feature filmmakers and actors. And Odd Man Out will actually be premiering at Film Fest LA
Oh, cool.
in November at LA Live.
nice.
Okay.
So we'll have we're having a teaser go up there. We have a reel going up there, and we have our main trailer going up. So we're going to be up for Best Drama, and myself and Kira Reed Lorsch are going to be up for Best Actor and Best
luck.
Guest Actress.
Nice.
Nice.
So
That's
thank you
awesome.
guys for that.
Congrats.
So yeah, I would
cool.
love to continue to try and create, and not even try, but create opportunities
Yeah,
for other
sure.
filmmakers. And
Who's your your holy grail of people you want to work with? Like who's somebody you would bend over backwards to just?
He just did. Us.
Top of the list would be Jordan Peele.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele would be great. I mean, obviously Spike Lee would be great.
How about some white dudes? Come on.
For sure.
I did a film with Spike Lee.
Did you?
I did The Five Bloods.
Did
wow.
you?
We filmed in Thailand.
Yeah, so I watched it. I saw
And
it.
coming from somebody like me who's, worked with Michael Bay and a lot of people who are very just direct, I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna go out to Thailand and I'm gonna have this little militant, black film director. I'm thinking
Malcolm X
Mookie
style.
from Do the Right Thing,
Yeah.
and he was awesome. Guy is super organized. He is just, he is.
He's an
There's
artist.
nothing he's not prepared for, and
Yeah.
he shot all the stuff we were kind of involved with was all the flashback scenes to Vietnam. And
Yeah.
he shot all first film or project I've ever been on that was actually using film.
Yeah.
Because everything I've been on has been digital.
Yeah.
And he was shooting all the flashback scenes in 16 millimeter, and I was like in awe. Like it's like watching a fucking dinosaur walk down your street in your neighborhood. You're like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Nah, that's crazy.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the number one director in the game is Chris Nolan. I mean, that would be great to just shadow.
Sure.
But there are some TV directors too, or just filmmakers in general that do TV that I just follow, and like Friday Night Lights was a TV show that just completely changed my entire perspective on acting and filmmaking. Even upwards of like a show that I'm not ashamed to admit that I binged, Nashville.
Yeah.
But just the filmmaking side of it was great, and I forget the woman's name. She was the showrunner of it, but she's just brilliant. She's been an exec on a bunch of different shows, and
Producer on that show his name was Lucas George. Not George Lucas, but Lucas
I saw
George.
that in some credits.
Yeah.
You know him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I worked with him on a couple projects.
Yeah,
Very
okay.
smart guy.
Yeah. So those would kind of be, filmmaker wise. I mean, acting wise. I mean, it would just be great to just watch any of these dudes, like to watch Joaquin Phoenix and obviously Denzel and Michael B. Jordan would be great because he's just about my age, and Chadwick.
I heard the guy that played your gay husband was amazing.
Yeah. So,
Jimmy
Chadwick.
Fabulous.
Right.
Fabulous.
Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. Would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
amazing to.
I could see you being a new Black Panther, maybe.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Or even, what's his name? Daniel, the lead in All American. He's a British guy, and most people don't even know he's British because, that's what I love about British actors and British thespians. Like, they're
Kills
just,
me, right? They're so good at
they're
like
so
nailing.
good.
Like,
You never know that
it's like
they
Rick
were-
from The Walking Dead covering up his Australian accent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how well a lot of actors can do it. Yeah.
But it's funny too how Americans
Can't do the reverse. Put a shrimp on the barbie.
we're not even asked to. Like, it would be so disrespectful for us to like do it over
They're
there.
like,
Like, no.
Just use your regular voice.
But for them to come here and do it in our dialect and not even to know.
Yeah. Like you see them guest on some late night show and they talk in their
Exactly.
real voice and I'm like, what the fuck? Get the
Yeah.
fuck
Like heavy
Like-
British.
Yeah, that's genius. Well, Ronnel, thank you so much, man. This has been an amazing Bar Talk Live. We've learned about Odd Man Out.
Thank you,
5
guys.
Hour Productions.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Pleasure.
And more about you. So thanks for spending some time with us, having a side pour and a couple drinks.
Yeah.
Welcome you back to San Diego anytime. Come down to the Casbah and hang out.
Thank you. You guys are great. Good luck with the
Absolutely.
show, and
Yeah.
I see big things.
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
And that's
Yeah.
just right here.
And
And